The boat rocked endlessly and fiercely on the waves. The spray from the ocean spritzed over the side, dampening every troop. The young man's senses were ravaged by fear, nausea, dread, and a sudden overwhelming loneliness in spite of being surrounded by dozens of men that he had endured months of training with, preparing them for that great battle that lay before them. And oh, what a battle it would be! A carnival of honor and glory that would bring them all home as conquering heroes, that would ensure that their life would forever be viewed in a completely different context. The young man was 19, just 4 months shy of his 20th birthday. But suddenly he felt very old. He had been led by old guys who were confident and sure of their abilities and arrogant in their invincibility. Heck, a couple of them was even over 30. As he looked around, peering into their eyes, he found it strange that the eyes now belonged to strangers. No one was cocky, no one spoke, and all of the eyes were so hollow that comfort was nowhere to be found. A strange thought suddenly occupied his mind. He wondered what Cora was doing this morning. His mind drifted out of the roaring tub that they called a boat and back home to a Mississippi morning. He could see the sun rising over the trees as a dense fog partially hid the trees across the field from the house. The smell of coffee brewing and biscuits in the oven drifted past his nose. He could just see his sweetheart looking out the window at him, and the love in her eyes made him feel important and wanted in his world. Of course, this was the future, as only promises between them had so far been exchanged. But the letter that she had just written him allowed him to know that their future was set in stone. She talked of their children and how they would raise them. He envisioned how the boys that he would surely sire would be strapping young men who could take on the world, and the stories that he would tell this very day. And his grass. Oh Lord, he thought, I am missing cutting the grass. That awful task that he always hated suddenly seemed to be something that he would really love to be doing. He could just see the small clippings blowing away in the wind as he circled the yard.
Get ready!
Somebody bellowed. The knots tightened in his stomach, and suddenly he could neither swallow nor even feel his lips. His hand rose to touch his face, but his senses were so jarred that the hand seemed like it belonged to someone else.
Run, run!
His mind screamed, although he knew there was nowhere to go. The front must have opened because everyone who was in front of him was moving forward, and the ones behind him shoved him in the same direction. The prayers that he had prayed over the course of several hours, the night before, now flew through his mind in a frantic pace. The words simply came down to this: God help. Before he hit the water in a fleeting second, he kissed Cora on the cheek in his mind and promised her that he would return to her and that they would have the life of which they dreamed. The young man almost made it out of the water. His last thoughts were of Cora, and he wondered just who would tell his mother. His mother wondered if anyone would ever remember, if anyone really knew what it cost.